My name is Elsa Jaramillo Vélez. I've been a patient of Dr. Hoover since 2010 when I used to work at the city of Coral Gables. I liked her so much that I decided to bring in my family, both my daughter at that time, who was 3 years old, now she's 13, and also my husband.
Then, of course, during the course of the year, those colds, those different things that come up along the way, my daughter, being younger, obviously, she was in need of going to see the doctor, and then ultimately, eventually myself, and that's how we then started as well, seeing Dr. Hoover.
I first met Dr. Hoover when I was little, and I switched to her as my doctor because my mom had been going to her for many years, so she thought that it'd be best if I went to Dr. Hoover also.
We've been with her ever since. We couldn't imagine being with anyone else. She's been great, really. Responsive like no other doctor normally is. I mean, my wife will text her, whether she's the one feeling bad, my daughter, even me. She'll text her, and immediately, as soon as Dr. Hoover is able to, she's texting her back. It's unheard of, especially this day and age.
I just thought Dr. Hoover was just excellent. Her way of being, her human nature, how kind she was. I knew right away that I had found the right doctor for us.
I guess, for lack of a better word, the bedside manner that you always hear talk of when you're talking about doctors. And particularly, unfortunately, this day and age, the lack thereof of the bedside manner. That's not the case with Dr. Hoover. It's exactly the opposite with Dr. Hoover. Immediately, she sets you at ease. It feels like a family friend.
Whether it's calling her directly or texting her or just showing up at the office, it just makes a big difference, with our busy schedules, and we all have very busy schedules. It's just wonderful to be able to reach her in some way, whether it's, again, the texting or the calling her or just showing up at the office. And she's always there and available to help us out.
Regardless of when or where, yes, we've even been on vacation. And Elsie hasn't felt well, or Paola hasn't felt well. And of course, immediately Elsie will reach out to Dr. Hoover, send her a text, and within no time flat, Dr. Hoover's responding to her text.
Whenever we're on vacation, let's say my mom's sick and then my dad gets sick and then even I get sick, Dr. Hoover's always there. All we have to do is text her, even if she's out of office, and she'll answer immediately and prescribe something to us that'll help us make us feel better.
It's an incredible experience, the experience with Dr. Hoover, but when you add to that the fact that she is a mom herself, and that really brings it full circle. I mean, like I said earlier, when she sees us, she'll inquire about Paola. If Paola isn't with us at the time, or Paola is with us and she's the one that's sick and being tended to.
She's been a great doctor, and I really like how she helps people and she always makes them feel better, and she's inspired me to want to be a surgeon or an anesthesiologist.
With my daughter, she's actually given a lot of great advice. My daughter wants to be a doctor, and she's told my daughter she should come this summer and come intern with her and see what it's like to be a doctor.
She's given me a chance to do an internship with her this summer, so that way I could see what it's like being a doctor for people, so I can try it out and see if I like it best.
So my daughter, since she was 3 years old, she used to do ballet, jazz, tap. So she's always done some exercise of some kind. Usually kids go through some stage where they gain a little more weight, and she was at that stage at one time. And Dr. Hoover said, let's make sure she's exercising and eating healthy.
Like, let's say I had high cholesterol, she told me what not to eat for a little bit so we can get lower. And she's also helped me with what I'm allergic to, what I'm not allergic to, and some stuff to do that'll help. Like, she gave me an inhaler because I have breathing issues because I do sports. So it's helped a lot.
So we started watching what we eat a little better, and we started exercising a little more. She does basketball now. She wants to do flag football, and also a few other sports. She likes sports a lot, so she can continue a healthy lifestyle.
It has changed my life because I've gotten skinnier, because I know what's best for me to eat and what's not, and I've done sports, which makes me more active and better all throughout because it keeps me at a fit and good shape.
Particularly like in the case of my wife with her asthma, certain things will trigger the reactions. And so it's really knowing what does trigger those reactions, and a being responsive, being attentive to that, being aware. And that's what Dr. Hoover has tried sharing with us.
Dr. Hoover's always emphasized being fit or exercising. So every time we go in, she'll ask my daughter, what are you doing now? What sports are you doing? Are you exercising? Are you eating healthy? Because that's important in maintaining a healthy lifestyle.
Particularly like in the case of my wife with her asthma, certain things will trigger the reactions. And so it's really knowing what does trigger those reactions and a being responsive.
As a child, I had asthma, and then it got better. But then as I'm getting older, it's actually gotten worse. With every season, it becomes even worse and worse. And I also discovered with Dr. Hoover that I had like 19 different allergies. So she did a series of tests, and it was determined that I had like 19 different allergies. I'm allergic to plants. I'm allergic to a bunch of things I wasn't even aware of. Thanks to Dr. Hoover, now I know, and obviously I know to stay away from those triggers.
And that's why what we in turn have tried implementing, and we are, whether it's food or whether it's like an environmental kind of situation, you're exposing yourself to a situation where there might be slightly higher levels of dust or pollen or what have you. Not that you can totally get away from that here in Miami. Everything's pollinating all the time, and there's always construction going on somewhere. So the dust and the pollen are inevitable, but obviously there's certain situations where it's more than apparent that you're dealing with a higher concentration, and if you can avoid those situations. And then even food. Certain foods will trigger certain reactions as well.
So I love animals, absolutely love animals. We have a dog. My mom usually takes care of the dog from Monday to Friday. I get the dogs on Fridays until Sunday. And obviously she gives me a little allergy, but not as much as a cat. We do have a cat, but I keep the cat in a separate room. So Dr. Hoover has told me, okay, what exactly, to stay away, because I didn't even know I was allergic to cats. Should have known with my asthma, but I didn't know at that time. So now I know she stays in a separate room, but at the same time, I also take care of her and I tend to her as well.
Dr. Hoover, it's really easy. She can tell exactly what you have. I've gotten sick. My mom's just texted her, just saying a few different things I feel at the moment. And then after that, she's prescribed medicine, and it worked immediately. After that, I started feeling better as soon as I had it.
Just her being there for us anytime we need her, that in itself alleviates, the daily stress of you can't afford to be sick. And like many times, I'll carry my albuterol, my machine with me. I take it to work. But if I need prescriptions or I need refills, I call her right away or I text her, and she sends it right to the pharmacy.
People are ever busier, particularly doctors, and thankfully her practice is going great. It's just exploding. So obviously, all the more busy. And in spite of it all, she still finds the time to respond back as soon as she's able to. So I really couldn't imagine a better doctor.
As a professional woman, both as an attorney and as a professor, as an adjunct professor at Florida International University, life is very complicated. My husband is also an attorney, and we have one daughter. Our daughter is very busy with her schoolwork and with different activities in school, so we're always very busy. So getting sick, we can't afford to get sick. But when we do get sick, we know who we need to call, whether it's by telephone or by text or actually just walking in. We know we can call Dr. Hoover and that she'll be there for us and she'll take care of us. It's constant. My allergies and my asthma is every season. So I'm constantly seeing Dr. Hoover. Again, texting her, calling her, walking in. Many times she'll come in for me. She'll come in on the weekends, on Saturdays and Sundays, because she needs to inject me in order for my bronchioles to open up. So, having that is invaluable to us as a busy, with our busy lifestyle, and also because she has a great heart. And she is not just any regular doctor. She really cares about her patients.
You take into account that she does have 2 daughters of her own. And it's all the more amazing that she is able to do everything she does and that she still cares. She finds the time to to reach out, to respond, and to care, and to focus, and to be as attentive when you go to see her as she is, it really is all the more amazing.
Just her being there for us anytime we need her, that in itself alleviates, the daily stress of you can't afford to be sick. And like many times I'll carry my albuterol, my machine with me. I take it to work. But if I need prescriptions or I need refills, I call her right away or I text her and she sends it right to the pharmacy.
She immediately makes you feel at ease, immediately lets you know she cares, immediately she's asking you how you've been, not just how you're doing right now. And she really matters to her, and that comes across everything, the whole of the way she deals with you as a person. You're not just another number, another chart, another file. No, you're a person. She knows you, and it comes across as she cares.
I've also seen how she takes care of her other patients. I know a particular family that went to her, and the person was very sickly, but she went out of her way. She knew exactly what that person needed, and she's just there for them, and she goes out of her way for everybody. So with all the patients that she sees, she makes time. She makes you feel special because she takes care of her patients. You're a patient to her, you're a family to her, you're not just anybody else coming to see her.
In the time that we've been seeing Dr. Hoover, we've seen her practice slowly but surely expand beyond a portion of the current location where it's at to the better part of that location, to nearly the whole of the location. And obviously her practice continues to expand, continues to grow, and thankfully, and rightfully so, in light of what an incredible doctor she is. And as the word gets out, that continues being the case. So yeah, I've heard, needless to say, that it's more than outgrown its current location, and that it's actually in the process of relocating to a much better suited site for what an ever expanding practice she happens to have right now. And I'm really happy for her. I'm really proud for her. And in light of the incredible, really incredible doctor she is, sky's the limit on where Dr. Hoover can go. This is but just the next step in an ongoing evolution upward for her practice, and I couldn't be happier for her. It really, sky's the limit for Dr. Hoover.
I'm very excited that Dr. Hoover's opening a new office. When I started seeing her, obviously she's been there in that location for 10, 12 years, and I've been seeing her for at least a decade now. And so I'm very proud of what she's been able to accomplish. I know she would get there because she has that dedication, that hard working, the ethical obligation she has for her patients and how she is with her patients. So I knew it was naturally gonna come. This is like a one-stop clinic, and so it's perfect. We'll be able to get our prescriptions, we'll be able to get everything we need.
So I've been going to the Coral Way office that she's had for many years, and I've heard that she's moving offices a few blocks down, and I'm very proud of her, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
Dr. Hoover, I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that I really appreciate everything that you do for us, that you do for me, and we're going to be eternally grateful for you. We are eternally grateful to you for everything you've always done for us, and I can't wait to see what comes next.